Welcome everyone to Let's Maybe Play Over the Hedge. I say maybe because if people are sick of licensed games right now, then I'll do something else. Or if people just aren't interested in this particular one at this time. But yeah, I did a Let's Try of this game a couple months back, and I need a secondary LP to do. I don't have any of the games that I want to do Let's Tries of ready to go right now, so I'm doing this. It's not a very long game, so, should be able to get through it pretty quickly. Starting with the Night Streets is the next level. And let's just jump right into it. I'm not really gonna say any sort of introductory stuff about the game, because I'm pretty sure I already said that in the Let's Try. But yeah, one of many games based on DreamWorks movies that I will probably LP at some point or another. I would like to do the Shrek 2 game at some point. I was streaming it with Liv several months ago, and we couldn't get past like the second level, and I played it on my own and figured out that I'm a big dumbass and that it's quite easy. And so I've played through like little less than half of it, and it's not an amazing game, but it's fun enough, and it's as fun as I remember it being from my childhood. I'd also really like to do the B-movie game at some point. That one's a lot of fun. Very silly game that I have. And I think this is the first gun in the game. There are a couple of different guns. Yeah, this is me turning down the music volume because the music is loud as fuck in this game. Everything in this game is loud as shit. It was still pretty loud, and it's still louder than like the rest of the sounds. But yeah, there are three types of guns in this game. The most common one being this one that shoots, I think they're ping pong balls. I don't know. They're just white spheres, but they look like ping pong balls. And then there's another one that shoots like fire, and another one that shoots ice. And they're not. The other ones aren't nearly as common as the ping pong ball one. I'm just gonna call it that. Fuck it. Yeah, here's the Rat King, who's very disturbing. But he gives you the crown, which is one of the best hats in the game. I don't know if I really talked about that very much in the Let's Try or not, because I haven't watched that video since I put it up. But I really like the hats. It's one of my favorite parts of this game. And in general, I mean, this game is tailor-made for me in many ways, because you can collect a million things. You got your cans of chips, you got your boxes of cookies, you got your CDs. There's 196 of them, I think, or 95 or something. You can get all the objectives, you got all these little snackies. You can get all the extra loot later on when we have loot circles where you can get optional little bits of tech and stuff like that. All kinds of crazy crap that you can get. And then the hats, of course. And you can wear the hats. Can't really do much with them afterward. I don't think you can bring them into levels, but they give you a little bit of extra protection when you first get them, and then they inevitably get knocked off. I don't think I've ever finished a level with a hat on. And I was really worried there that RJ triggering the light meant that I wouldn't get all the objectives, because one of them is to not trigger a spotlight. But it just has to be you. Like, you just have to not do it if it's a single player deal. I can imagine if you're trying to do this in co-op, like play through the whole game with 2 players, that could be fucking annoying if you're, if your gaming partner is dicking around and costs you your 100% completion. So yeah, there you go. I still got it. But I do mess up one of those in the next level, though, unfortunately. And I may have to go back and do it, because if I do a full LP of this game, which I'm, like, perfectly prepared to do if people are into it, but if people would rather see something else, again, I can keep this one on hold for now. It would be really weird to have an LP that's like, a Let's Try in May, Part 2 in July, and then the rest of it in, like, December, or whenever I do it again. But if I do it, I would like to try my best to get 100% objective completion. I don't know if I'm going to get 100% of the game. Oh, there's only 97? Why did I think there were 195? What the fuck am I thinking about? I think 195 may be the number of objectives. Or maybe it's 135. I know I'm mixing up numbers in my head. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get all the CDs and all that shit, but I would like to get at least, which I don't know if those go toward your completion total. I feel like they probably would. But it would be cool to get all the objectives, but the only thing is that some of them are, you know, don't get hit or don't trigger a thing, and especially in the later levels that gets a little bit hard to do, and I don't know how much I'm going to want to go off screen and do a whole level again and try not to get hit just to get one objective, and you're not even going to see it, but it would just be for the completionist thing of it, which, like, that's why I can never hold myself to those things, because, you know, at the end of the day, I want to upload the video, you know, like, and I want to get through the game, and, you know, it's no fun for me, and it's no fun for you if I'm either not uploading the videos on time because I'm too busy having to try something over and over again before I can keep going, or even worse, I include it in the video and you have a bunch of videos of me doing the same thing over and over again. I just can't imagine it would be very entertaining, and as you all know, I put entertainment first as my first concern for every video. Every video you see has been quality tested to make sure it is 100% entertaining. Yeah, so. But yeah, licensed games, how about them? I sure do play a lot of them. I probably will continue doing that, but from now on, I'm actually running out of them, believe it or not. I was looking through my LPs on my channel the other day, just, you know, doing a little looky at the old channel, as you do every once in a while, just see what the totality of your body of work looks like and all that. And I noticed, I was like, oh wow, I've like already Let's Played almost all of the like big sort of like childhood licensed games of mine, like the ones that I played all the time and have a lot of memory with, and they were, you know, the majority of the games I played at the time that are like actually good and that I like and that have like a story and everything. Because there are other games that I played a lot, but they're just, you know, The Sims, which I would love to make videos about, but, you know, that's a whole other thing. And, you know, it's not a full Let's Play, so, yeah, I don't know. I guess I have to start thinking of other games. I have to start playing other games, which is good because the Steam Summer Sale is just about done, and I've bought a bunch of games from that, which is cool. And, you know, ROMs exist and stuff, and I own games that I, you know, bought more recently and I didn't play as a child, but that I know about and that I would like to play through at least most of before I LP them, so I'm not being a dummy when I do it. And then I can do those games, but I gotta do that, you know, like, oh, 420 cookies, it's cool. But yeah, I have to actually, like, do that, so that's a whole thing. And yeah, here's the, like, this is what happens when you press Y, that's your special move, and I like it when it's Vern, because he takes his shell off, and you can see his little turtle ass. Ozzy is the most annoying character in the game, because, if you're annoyed already by him moving ahead 5 feet, and then pretending to be dead while a trillion enemies come on, and then you, defeat them, and then you have to watch him walk forward and do it again, and you do that like 8 times. Don't worry, there's only like a half dozen more levels where that's the entire thing. So, yeah, and it's very annoying. In the movie, it's a bit that gets old in the movie, and he's only on screen for like 2 minutes. And so it gets very, very old when there's like entire stretches of gameplay about him being like, oh, oh. Also, escort missions are just bad. I don't like them in pretty much any game. I can't really think of any off the top of my head that I've enjoyed very much. And here is a very insane looking construction site. I guess it's not like it makes sense that it's messy and everything, but like all these wires, like is it for the animals that they have all these wires hanging around? I mean, I know the motion sensors are for the animals. Anyway, this one's kind of a pain in the ass, mostly because of the perspective, and that's something that I'm noticing coming back to this game that I probably didn't think about much as a child, is that the camera is very weird. It like swings around. I don't like when in a game, like, in order to get to somewhere on screen, the camera's in like a fixed position, and so you have to go, like, your character's in like the corner of the screen, and it's just hard to like move correctly. And in a game, especially a game like this, I generally enjoy and agree with the rule of thumb that like the character should always generally be toward the middle of the screen, especially in like a platforming game or whatever, because like that's kind of the best way to know where you are in the 3D world and everything. And not that it has to be that way for all of them, but, you know. And yeah, like, getting up to that hat, I didn't know how to do that, so there's a little bit of wandering around in this one. I didn't have as smooth a time with this as I would have wanted. Yeah, you gotta find Penny's kids, because she sucks, and she just lets her kids just fly all over the place. Oh, they get on the roof and shit. RJ's having a really bad time. This is one of those levels in this game where your AI partner will almost, if you're like not incompetent and trying to move forward and get everything, they will almost always get stuck at the edge of the screen, and because of all of the shit all over the place, like the electricity and the motion sensors and the enemies, they're probably just gonna die. So yeah, RJ dies like 5 times during this. Also, every time I start to say RJ's name, I just did it again. Every time I try to say RJ's name, I almost start saying Ray J. Which is really funny to think about. There should be a video game where Ray J is a playable character. And yep, I wanted to see if you could jump over here because, you know, there's land over there that looks like it's walkable, but no, idiot, you can't go that way. So I got electrocuted, and now I can't get 100%, all because this game is a big piece of garbage. And I don't know how RJ got up there, because I was gonna try to jump up that slope, and it didn't work. I don't know what that was about. I think I was just checking if Never Get Electrocuted was one of them, and I was probably saying fuck after that. Gotta get those chips. I don't remember what the chips and cookies do. I think if you get 20 of them, one of them increases your power, like how many power circles you have, and one of them increases your hit points. And yeah, RJ is just being useless. Get with the fucking program, Ray J. I would really like a video game where Ray J is a playable character. I was also thinking the other day about, I want to try to think of some movies that would make good video games, because I think there are some movies that would make good video games. I think there are far more movies that could make that could have good video game adaptations than there are video games that could have good movie adaptations. And I think it fundamentally just has to do with the fact that, like, with a movie to game adaptation, you're taking an established linear story in one medium, and you are adding interactivity to it. But with a game to movie adaptation, you're taking a game where, like, in most cases, if it's like a popular game, the reason that it's famous and popular and people think it's good is because it's fun to play, and you're subtracting that element from it with a movie, you know what I mean? So you have to, like, in order for it to feel like a worthwhile adaptation, like, your adaptation of it has to be so, like, your transformation of its story and and the experience of playing it to, like, cinema has to be, like, really good. And I just don't think that most or any of the, you know, people who are tasked with making adaptations of popular video games are up to the task of doing that, really. Which I don't think can be expected for it to be really any different.
I'm warning you. Don't come any closer or I'll...
Hang on, Heather. We'll handle the not playing dead part.
I really like Vern. There's a reason that I pretty much always play as Vern. I mean, there's a couple of reasons. I like him because he's a turtle, and turtles are awesome. And he's green. His color is green, which is the best. I mean, my favorite color in life probably is blue, just because of the number of shades and hues of blue that I like. But I think green is, like, my favorite color to, like, be seeing on screen a lot, if that makes any sense. These things are cool. I really liked these things as a kid. I really liked all the crazy, like, gadgets and, like, robot things. Like, the enemies or whatever, they're mostly just rats with hats. But I always liked the crazy, like, machines and everything. I've talked many times before about how when I was a kid, I really gravitated toward movies and games that had things in their design like that, where there were a lot of, like, mechanical, especially if it looked like it was, you know, like, cobbled together from different known materials. One reason why I really like the Ratatouille game is because all the things you interact with in the world are, like, just, like, everyday items that you use in creative ways. I also really liked the movie Flushed Away for that. And lots of movies about, like, small animals and bugs kind of have that element to them, where, like, common household objects are turned into, like, other structures and other things for use, and it's neat. And I also just really liked robots and machines when I was a kid, and I still do, so I just thought that, you know, it's a reason why I like Battle for Bikini Bottom is because you fight robots, and I liked all the design of all the robots. I very poorly tried to draw them in my, like, notebooks and stuff at school all the time. So, yeah, good times. So that was, you know, one reason that I was drawn to this game, other than its collectathon-ness and its being based on a cartoon that I liked at the time. I don't really like this movie now. I think I've talked about that before. That's a pretty funny line. And this part is fucking ridiculous to me. Like, it's so hilarious to me that, like, the human... Because, like, it's already funny. I mean, like I just said, I don't really think Over the Hedge is a good movie, but I do like the absurdity of the humans, like, wanting to isolate themselves from everyone, including each other, but also mostly animals, and, like, trying to keep any non-human entity away from their homes, lest the, you know, property values go down. And this video game, because it has to be a video game, it just takes it a step further into even more nonsensical absurdity. This is a really weird little gesture that she does, and she's gonna do it a few times. It's weird. There's the loot circle. I like that shit. I wish those existed in real life. I wish... There are so many times, especially in the city, where, like, you can get the address for somewhere, but because it's a city building, there's, like, 15 different entrances you could take, and all of them are wrong. I wish so much for, like, a glowing yellow circle or marker wherever I need to be at a certain time. That would be awesome. Or, like, when I'm looking for something around the house, if it had a little, like, yellow ring around it. Someone should get on that. That's a really good, like, video games really went off with that one. A big leg up over real life with that design choice. And alas, we missed an objective. But yeah, like, it's just so much more absurd now in the video game because they're trying so hard to keep animals out of their house to the extent that not only are they doing all of these crazy, like, Mission Impossible spy lasers, like motion sensing lasers and stuff, but brainwashed rats, just rats with, like, weapons running around their house to kill the other animals. Like, it's such, like, that's their security system. It's so fucking funny to me. Like I said, it's just like the movie, but like the absurdity of that element of the movie, but just like raised to 10 because, I mean, like there need to be enemies in the video game. Also, I love how in the house they were watching the Shark Tale video game, and now they're watching Shrek Super Slam. The loading screen that doesn't exist in the game. At least they're watching actual gameplay in Shark Tale.
From now on, unless digital picture quality is at stake. A father worries.
Dad, film and video aren't even the same thing.
Heather.
I promise, I promise.
I included that little exchange, but it's not important or anything, and not very funny. He was basically just saying, like, it was too dangerous to get the projector, but oh my god, I can see the beads of sweat on Shrek's face. This is incredible. The quality of this loading screen is astounding. I remember that was a big, like, selling point when the PS3 and even the PS4 were coming out. They were, like, with, whenever they had, like, 2K ads or whatever, or, like, Madden games, they would always be like, you can see the sweat on Michael Jordan's fucking face. And it's like, I mean, not when you're playing the game, really, but because they're far away. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys want to see more, then next time we'll be doing Martin Heist Part 1. Gonna give those Martins a run for their money, so see you then for that. I have no idea what that means.